want to run with the pack, one of these days you'll be someone's dinner.
I can't help but notice there's this strange odor today. Man is forbidden! Run, Mowgli!
Is no longer safe for you.
But this is my home.
Only man can protect you now.
Poor, sweet little cub. What are you doing so deep in the jungle?
You are a man cub who wants to live in the jungle.
How do you know that?
Kid, I got ears. My ears got ears. Only I can protect you.
Forget about your worries in the strange.
What's that?
That's a song about the good life.
He will stop at nothing until he has this boy.
If anything happens to that kid, I'll never forgive myself.
Let's be on our way.
But I'm helping Baloo get ready for hibernation.
Bears don't hibernate in a jungle.
Not full hibernation, but I nap a lot.
Back in the days when Disney's live-action remakes gave a lot of people the curiosity of what could be instead of the, oh, fuck me, they're doing a live-action version of this now. Good times indeed. Welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. Today we have 5 films for April 15th, 2016. So after you did your taxes that day, you had these movies to go see that weekend. And that's starting off with our biggest new release, Jon Favreau's adaptation of The Jungle Book. Of course, based off the 1967 Disney classic, a pretty much straightforward adaptation of it, rather than the Rudyard Kipling book version. This one stars and introduces Neil Seethy as Mowgli, an orphan human boy who, guided by his animal guardian, sets out on a journey of self-discovery while evading the threatening Shere Khan, voiced by Idris Elba. You have a cast that includes Bill Murray as Baloo, Ben Kingsley as Bagheera, Lupita Nyong'o, Scarlett Johansson as Kaa, Giancarlo Esposito, and Christopher Walken as King Louie. Yeah, even though this isn't anything straight from the Rudyard Kipling adaptation, there are several interpretations of some of the darker elements of that book in this movie, and even references a little bit of the Chuck Jones animated version from the 60s, too, by the end of it, if you really pay close attention to it. But, yeah, this is pretty, I mean, the trailers do a pretty good job of giving you an indication of what this is going to be, even though those trailers couldn't predict how pretty awesome this was. I mean, this movie was actually pretty damn enjoyable. I mean, when it comes to Disney and their live-action adaptations, I thought Cinderella was at the top of the bar at this point. And, yeah, this one surpassed my expectations for it, but it does exceed your expectations for the things that they do in it. The greatest aspect overall are 2 things: the cast and their performances, and the visual effects. I mean, they couldn't have gotten a better voice cast to do this. You got Ben Kingsley giving one of the best and more subdued performances of his distinguished career, probably since Gandhi, honestly, playing Bagheera. And again, he was pretty good. He was really good. He did give a really solid performance in Schindler's List. That was after Gandhi. But Bill Murray's Baloo, which that alone already equals quality entertainment value, and you get it here. I mean, he gives us a much different Baloo compared to the animated version, but it's still equally as enjoyable as the original version is. Christopher Walken is King Louie, and what Walken brings is both very fun and menacing. Like, there are times when he's legitimately threatening, but then there are scenes later on in the movie, towards the end, then there's an end credit sequence where he's singing "I Want to Be Like You," and it's Christopher Walken doing a version of "I Want to Be Like You," and if you know Christopher Walken's mannerisms, then, yeah, it's very, very fun on those levels. The same could also be said for Scarlett Johansson's Kaa, which does really bring that creepiness to that character in terms of the voice, the design of the character. I mean, I was leaning back in my seat when she started zooming in. And it really does feel like the snake is coming right at you. It's just like, and I saw this in 3D too. So yeah, that's how good of a performance that was. Now, if you want to talk about a really menacing performance, Idris Elba's Shere Khan, man. I mean, you needed to get somebody who could come off as threatening playing that character, just like how George Sanders did in the 67 movie version. And even when they got Tony Jay to play him in Tailspin and Jungle Book 2, but man, he hits it right out of the park, man. He comes off with that perfect amount of fear of hostility that you need for a character like that. And as you watch the film, you get the sense of, I found this character to be very threatening. I need you to stay the fuck away from me, man. Like, that's how intimidating this guy is. Like, you also have good performances by Lupita Nyong'o, Giancarlo Esposito, Jon Favreau, the late Gary Shandling, Sam Raimi. Honestly, the big surprise of the whole movie was the visual effects and how pretty damn good they were. I mean, this entire thing was shot on a soundstage in Los Angeles, which is incredible when you consider that many of these shots look like they were literally shot outside the jungles of Africa, and it just shows how far CGI has come to that point. I mean, if it's done right, it can work really, really well, and it's like what they were trying to do with Sky Captain in The World of Tomorrow 12 years ago, and this one just gets it right down pretty good. What the power of CG is able to do is actually give these animal characters kind of a sense of emotion to them, much like how they did it with Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies, which, I mean, what Disney has done with these characters is make these animals act like humans and give them real emotions that can be seen in their faces and not feel fake or phony. Each one of them has these looks that give these animal characters a reason to actually care about them and the situations they have to face themselves in. So why couldn't they do this with The Lion King? I mean, they literally had the same director involved in it, and they couldn't even do that with that, but they did kind of fix it with Mufasa The Lion King, so I guess it did eventually come around eventually, but as far as the kid who plays Mowgli, Neil Sethi, I thought he was just okay. I mean, I don't think he was terrible in this, but he does kind of just have a one-note performance in this movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not like Jake Lloyd in The Phantom Menace, although there are times when he does come a little bit close. But to his credit, the fact that it's just him working with all these CG characters and people with mocap effects, I mean, he does a pretty good job of working off against them. I just wish he put a little more emotion into the role like the rest of the cast did. The rest of the movie itself works pretty well. Justin Marks wrote this and did a pretty good job of it. His career was kind of going on a downward spiral at this point, but this kind of turned it around for him. John Debney's music worked very well. I like the new interpretations of the classic songs. There was never anything else about the movie I didn't like, just a couple little nitpicky things here and there, but overall, this not only set a new standard for these live-action versions of Disney animated films, but it also set a new standard of what CGI could do for entertainment. It's not only an excellent adaptation of The Jungle Book, but it's a great, fun, action-packed family adventure. That's yet another winner for Disney, who had been able to deliver quality family entertainment 9 times out of 10 over the last couple of years, and you know, they would continue that stretch for a little bit there, too. But, yeah, pretty good film. Really, really good film. So, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie. Another big surprise that came out this weekend. The third installment of the Barbershop series, coming 12 years after the original film. The previous film, Barbershop, The Next Cut.
This is the town I love. A neighborhood of family and friends. You know how we do Southside Chicago, yes, baby. Sir. And right here at the heart of it all is where everyone comes together. The Barbershop.
What's up, homie black folks? Who wants some gangster grub?
That was hopping on fleek last time.
Did she just say fleek? There's a whole dictionary full of words. There's a library down the street. You won't see fleek in there nowhere.
He funny. He make me laugh.
What happened to the barbershop, Calvin? We used to come here to get away from women.
Me and Angie, we was both struggling to keep our shops afloat, so we had to work together.
Saved us both.
I can't believe y'all put all that money on your heads and then don't be having the money for your rent.
With this here and this booty,
damn,
it's like walking around with a black Amex, and I never get denied.
The days when Nicki Minaj actually turned out to be a pretty good comedic actress before she entered the dark side of the Trump world. But I digress. I keep doing this too with this movie. Like, I keep saying, oh, it's 12 years after the original film, and no, that's not correct. It's 12 years after the sequel, which was the last movie. Although, if you want to be technical, Beauty Shop came in 2005. But anyway, we're just talking about Barbershop here. Set 14 years after the original film and 12 years after the second film, Calvin, Eddie, and the rest of the gang must work together to save their shop and their neighborhood from trigger-happy gang members that roam the streets. I really do like these movies, man, so it's surprising that after 12 years since the last film, we have a new movie, and not only that, it's a comedy sequel that comes way after the previous film had happened. And, you know, me with that record and all that, but sometimes you get a good example of that. Best Man Holiday was one of those great examples, and sure enough, guess who's directing this movie? The very same director as that one, Malcolm D. Lee, and it does work very well. A lot of what makes the Barbershop movies so much fun is definitely in here. The great banter between the main cast, a lot of the main cast returning for this one, a great mix of comedy and drama thrown in there. It all just comes together as well as you could probably hope it would do, and it even manages to be topical about some of the issues going on in the world, specifically gang violence, Calvin trying to make his son not get involved. At least this movie, I'll give him credit for this, it takes on these topics and actually does it in a way that doesn't feel like it's just being forced onto you. That does not do that with this movie. But I think why this movie works as well as it does is because you have the good writing of both Kenyon Barris, the creator of Blackish, and Tracy Oliver, who would later go on to write Girls Trip, which, you know, Blackish is a series that manages to provide good comedy while also tackling some of the bigger social issues in the world. And I wouldn't have been surprised if Cube himself had a hand in the script for this. I mean, he does really seem to like working on these movies, and seeing as how a lot of those elements in terms of storytelling that he brought to the Friday movies are also brought into here too. There's a scene that's set up where it's so close to that scene. One of my favorite scenes in the Friday movies, one of my favorite scenes of all time, where, you know, Craig flashes back to moments from earlier in the film when his dad telling him that violence is not the answer. When you think that he's going to he's going to shoot Debo, and of course that's only a vision in his head. Like, there was one, it really did feel similar to watching that in this movie. And the cast once again works off each other very well. The original cast is back in this. Most of them are Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, Anthony Anderson, Eve, Sean Patrick Thomas. Their returns here don't feel forced or fake like American Reunion did. Like, they manage to have a strong cast of newcomers coming into the franchise who can catch up to the seasoned vets very well, such as Common, you know, Nicki Minaj, J.B. Smoove, Regina Hall, Margot Bright, Bingham, Lamont Morris, Dion Cole. If there was any major complaints I had about the movie overall, one of the things that did stick out with me right out of the gate was that there were too many cliche moments there, like the liar revealed aspect, the misunderstanding, the character who's obviously going to get killed off later for a plot point. But at the same time, the movie is smart enough to not focus on those cliches long enough and make them a bigger deal than most movies would. Like, it does. This movie overall works really well, more as a worthy reunion of these characters that we've come to know and love. And director Malcolm Lee does a good enough job bringing the spirit of the Barbershop movies back the same way he did with The Best Man Holiday. It's a very funny, very heartwarming movie, very well acted, very topical, and just a very enjoyable, good time overall. And if you like the other Barbershop movies, you're really going to love Barbershop The Next Cut. I think you're really going to find it very enjoyable. So let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Criminal.
My name is Bill Hope. You're an intelligence officer. I need you to remember.
On April 15th, critics are raving. Criminal is an intense, thought-provoking thriller. Kevin Costner, as you've never seen him before. Gal Gadot and Tommy Lee Jones join a powerhouse cast.
Remember!
It's a film you won't soon forget.
He's got Emma.
There's so many lives at stake, they don't matter.
They do to me.
Criminal, rated R, starts April 15th.
Anybody remember that movie Criminal? No. I think I make my point there. Yeah, you probably don't even remember this movie even existed. I mean, this is a film about a convict who's implanted with a dead CIA agent's memories to finish an assignment. The dead CIA agent being Ryan Reynolds' character. You also have Gal Gadot coming just after Batman v Superman. Gary Oldman's in here. Tommy Lee Jones, Alice Eve. One of the biggest problems with this movie right from the get-go is releasing this movie just after Batman v Superman and Deadpool came out. Like, Lionsgate put this out there and basically said, well, clearly we're going to have an audience for this because two of the stars of this movie aren't two of the biggest movies of the year. You didn't learn your lesson from What's Your Number with Chris Evans, and that one was a much better movie, but this is pretty terrible. This is pretty goddamn lazy, if you ask me. I mean, this is a terrible movie. It's a movie that is so confusing. It has no idea what direction it's supposed to go. Is it supposed to be a thriller? Is it supposed to be a sci-fi film? It does not do a good job of giving you an indication of either one of these things whatsoever. It's honestly a movie that if it didn't have the star power that it did, this thing really would have gone straight to DVD almost immediately. But no, because it has Kevin Costner, because it has Gary Oldman, Tommy Lee Jones, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds, of course it's got to go to theaters. And obviously nobody went to go see it. It flopped. It was a big disappointment at the box office. It's really not hard to see why. So Not much more to say about that one, so that is Criminal. Let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, which is certainly a much better movie than this, Green Room.
Gun and Blade.
We know somebody's about to get brutally murdered, and it's probably going to look amazing. Green Room. This is the movie that focuses on a punk band who finds themselves attacked by neo-Nazi skinheads after witnessing a murder at a remote club in the Pacific Northwest. As you see, Patrick Stewart is in there. But most importantly, you also see Anton Yelchin in actually the last film he did before he passed away, because he died in between this and Star Trek Beyond. There's also features Imogen Poots, Alia Shawkat, Joe Cole, Callum Turner. And pretty stylistic, cool-looking movie that is very reminiscent of something like a film that John Carpenter would have made back in the 80s, like Assault on Precinct 13. In fact, it's actually the second movie that we've had in the last couple of weeks that feels like something straight out of the 1980s. That it feels like it could have had an 80s vibe to it. Hardcore Henry is another one of those movies I feel like is in that same category, but this one is very stylish, very cool, and it delivers some pretty good shocks and all, and essentially gives Patrick Stewart a very different type of performance that we're used to seeing from him, but in a good way, man. It shows his range, shows his true range as an actor overall. And Anton Yelchin's pretty great in this movie. And it's sad to see what happened to him because he passed away not but 2 months after this movie came out. And overall, great movie, great underrated little film. Definitely one worth checking out if you haven't seen it. So. Speaking of great underrated movies, that's the same thing that can be said about our last movie, the latest film from the director of Once. This is Sing Street.
Oh, Weinstein Company and John Carney, the acclaimed director of Once.
Do you want to be in a video? It's from a band.
You're in a band?
We need to form a band.
Experience a heart-melting romance.
It's all about the girl, isn't it?
I think she's just amazing.
That hits all the right notes.
Not exactly the Beatles, is it?
You can't help but fall in love with the feel-good film of the year.
What are you all wearing?
Yeah, we're just working that out.
Sing Street, in theaters April 15th.
This is a movie that centers around a teenage boy who forms a band to impress a girl in 1980s Dublin. Straightforward to the point there. I mean, there's literally nothing of it. There's not really no high stakes involved in this. But then again, that's the type of thing you kind of expect with a movie like this for John Carney. I mean, simple stories, mostly about two people who come together through the power of music, and sure enough, this is another one of those movies, this time with one of them being Lucy Boynton from Miss Potter, and also what else was she in? Okay, she's not from the Chronicles of Narnia. I thought she was in the Narnia movies, but no, she was the young Beatrix Potter in the Miss Potter movie with Renee Zellweger, and the other kid is Jack Rayner, in one of his early film roles, and you also have Aidan Gillen from Game of Thrones in here. Not a lot of other big names in here, but really the movie works simply because it is a movie that is about these two different people, and one of them basically decides, hey, I want to impress this girl, and I tell her, hey, I'm in a band. It's just like, okay. And then you go to her friends, it's just like, we got to form a band. Like, I mean, it's a simple storyline, but it's very easy to like it because of the simplicity of it. There's no gigantic high stakes here. It's all about a kid who just wants to fall in love with this girl that he's in love with. And yeah, it works very well. And John Carney does a very good job of making the story very likable, very believable. It just works really well. It's a really well-made film. I like it. I like it a lot. A very underrated film. Not highly stronger than some of his other works like Once and Begin Again, but it's another really good movie from John Carney overall. Sing Street definitely is one I'd recommend. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies, and you know what? This is one of those weekends where I feel like we can combine 2 weekends into one, and it probably will not be a big deal, because the next 2 weeks' worth of movies are nothing too spectacular. In fact, some of these are high-profile failures from a couple people, including the spin-off to Snow White and the Huntsman with Chris Hemsworth, The Huntsman Winter's War. We have a rare misfire by Tom Hanks, A Hologram for the King. We also have Michael Shannon and Kevin Spacey starring in Elvis and Nixon. Those are the 3 films for the 22nd, and then for the 29th, we have Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key following up their success for Key and Peele with their first movie, Keanu, about a cat that has the name of Keanu Reeves. But we have that. We have Gary Marshall's ensemble comedy Mother's Day, just like his last couple of movies. He's Just Not That Into You, Valentine's Day, New Year's Eve. And sadly, it's the last movie that people remember him for because he passed away after this film got made. So Way to go. A career ends on that note. But we also have the big screen adaptation of the popular video games Ratchet and Clank. So we'll take a look at those 6 movies over the course of the next 2 weeks on one episode. That will be, of course, tomorrow here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. What am I doing with my hands? I don't know. Thank you for watching this. Let's try that. If you did enjoy this, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the last episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.